Welcome to the SMO Podcast. My name is Whitney, and today I'll be asking each guest 7 questions in 7 minutes. Here is the first look of our guest that will be speaking live on our stage. Look below to see what you'll say differently. And here is our next episode. Hello, everyone. My name is Whitney, and I'm here with the SMO Podcast. Today we have a special guest speaker. Very excited to allow you to learn more about her. We have Samantha. Samantha, for everyone that is watching, can you just introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what do you do?
So my name is Samantha Minott. I am a registered nurse. I have been a family nurse practitioner for almost a decade now. And in that time, I decided that I wanted to become a health and wellness coach because essentially there were things that I was seeing in our healthcare system, and I wanted to connect the dots a little bit better, especially for people who fall in the outskirts of your technical text box. Like a lot of people are missing care, appropriate care, timely care. And so I just decided, I just wasn't satisfied with what we were doing in our healthcare system. I'm like, no, we got to do something different. And so it's really just bridging functional nutrition as well as faith, incorporating that into your daily health and wellness lifestyle. So that's what I teach people.
That's amazing. Can you tell us, for everyone that is watching, like, how did you actually get started in the first place, and what led you to take this path seriously?
So if I think about it, it's kind of like a two-part, because at 16, I was misdiagnosed in the ED because they were like, hey, she's young, she's 16, she's African American, she may be pregnant, because I was having really bad abdominal pain. Come to find out I had gallstone issues and I had to have my gallbladder removed. And it was only after going to the ER the second time that there was a nurse. And the nurse was like, okay, she was asking me all these questions. And then she told the doctor, she's like, I really feel like this could be going on. But as a registered nurse, you can't diagnose. You can't do a medical diagnosis. You can do a nursing diagnosis. And so it may be pain related to blank. And so when she did that, it made me realize, it was like, hey, it was her bedside manners. It was her being so thorough. It was her paying attention to detail that allowed for the diagnosis to be rendered, versus when I was in the ED and I was told I was just constipated, I needed to go back home and take some Maalox, So that, having my gallbladder removed, then had me go on this journey of health and wellness, because you can't eat the mac and cheese and the ice cream and all the things that you really like, because you're tolerated. So this has been a journey going on. I'm about to be 40. And so this is since I was 16. And that's what led me on this journey. That's just a part of it.
Wow. Well, first of all, you look great for 40. You don't look your age at all. Second of all, I think this is one of those experiences where it's like what you went through allowed you to like kind of step into your calling, and the misdiagnosis that led to revealing what it is that you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to help. And, I think that's a beautiful, like, full circle moment, because, sometimes it's like we don't know why we go through things. And ultimately, like in your situation, it seems like it worked out for your, for the greater good of God and like the glory that He is revealing through you. So I would love to know, just like for you, was there a mindset shift that changed everything for you?
Yes, absolutely. And it was never just one. It was little tweaks. Like what I teach people is how to make small intentional steps over time. It's going to make a change, versus if you just look at this bigger picture and you can't wrap your mind around it because it's so comprehensive, versus just little mindset shifts. So in terms of, let's say, how can I say this? Even when I was eating healthy, even when I had to change my diet, like going from dairy to non-dairy or things like that, it was just, okay, there are healthy ways, how can I say this? There are easy ways to make something healthy. It's just, you just have to have a mindset shift, like you said. So that meant like going to family for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want the banana pudding?" And I'm like, "No, it's gonna hurt my stomach. I can't." So that led me to going into the kitchen and tweaking things. And my husband is vegan, so that was like a whole nother introduction of, okay, finding ways to make it healthy while not having to lose your culture, so to speak, right? And so that was probably the hardest mindset shift that I had to make. Like, okay, I'm not losing who I am just because I can't participate in certain things that is associated with my culture.
That's so good. That's good. I love that. I would say like for you on the transition of like stepping into, this calling and allowing people to be served through wellness and through the things that you were able to overcome, was there ever a moment that you felt like you wanted to quit, but you didn't?
I can't, I don't think so. I really don't, because when you're walking with God, it's just one foot in front of the other. You know what I mean? And you don't, I would get frustrated, right? And we could be very honest. We could be like, God, but what is this? What is the point? What are we doing here? Right? And he's like, just keep going, just keep going. Not that he doesn't care about your feelings, but he's like, I have something for you to do. Just, it's there. It's around the corner. It's around the corner. And so I kept going around the corner, taking turns, going straight, going back, and then going under and doing all these other things to get to a place where, like I'll even say with regards to wellness evolving with my business, a part of that is now like a what do you call it? Like my YouTube channel. And I said, God, like you told me years ago that I needed to incorporate cooking. Where's the cooking coming in? I had no idea, but I always knew that I liked it, right? So when we have our gifts and talents and we just feel like, oh, it's just whatever. No, now he has me creating videos to help people eat healthier, making those small intentional steps. And I'm like, okay, I see where you were going with this. And the more thank you, Holy Spirit, because the more you walk with him, the more you realize you don't have to question. You don't have to figure it all. You don't have to know the path. You just know that you need to be obedient to the whatever that looks like. If you would have told me 10 years ago, 2 years ago, this is what I've been doing, this is what I would have been doing. I wouldn't have, I'd be like, okay. But I don't know if I would have believed you. So
Yeah.
that's it.
I love that. I love that. You don't have to know your path. You just have to be obedient to the calling. And I think that is so true. But one of the things that really stood out to me too is you're the first person that has ever been on the podcast that said they didn't ever feel like quitting. And it's,
Mm.
really a testament of just like what you said of knowing like the path that you were on and what God has called you to and walking in that with faith, even when it was hard, right? And so I'd love to dive more into your message of like how you're really helping create that transformation through your service and how you're helping people because you're doing that through your cooking and through education. And even our first time talking, like I learned so much, and it actually made me continue to fast that day instead of buying Dunkin'.
Yes. So, oh, it's so exciting. It's really, really exciting. And what I try to explain to people is that what I learned along this journey is that when you take care of your vessel, which is where the Holy Spirit is housed, if you nurture that, it's going to greatly affect everything else that you have going on in your life. It's not just going to be your health, that's just the beginning, right? After that, you're now going to improve your relationships. You're going to improve your finances. You're going to improve your personal and professional goals. There's no way that you can't change it's a ripple effect. And so, I had a client who just finished yesterday, actually. And when I tell you that whole call was just win after win after win after win. And I was just like, oh my God, look at how okay, okay. Um, it just made me realize how much she transformed within that time. So for her, it was weight loss. Two, she didn't realize she was going to be building up her character, building up her self-esteem. She is a business owner, but in the beginning, she just didn't really feel like she wanted to put her business out there. And so by yesterday's call, she told me that she has a prospective client. And I'm like, this is amazing. She also mentioned how much it's transformed her family. So before they were, she said, she showed me her pantry and she said, this before was the healthy part of my pantry. And now majority of her pantry is healthy. And so just being able to sit with her children, to make meals with them, to create memories with them, and to not only do that, but see how that can transform their lives and then lead them into what they're called to do, that is like the utmost blessing to me. So that was some of the benefits that my clients receive.
That's amazing. And I want to go deeper into this because I remember speaking to you for the first time and you talked about that 90-day, transformation essentially of like switching your eating habits and living this healthy lifestyle to, get rid of the toxins and to start new again. What does that look like for maybe the average person that is struggling to eat healthy or maybe even just making that switch?
Okay, so absolutely. The first thing I always tell people, start in your pantry. Identify what's in your pantry. There's an app. Um, I don't know if can I mention the app on here?
Of course.
Okay. It's called the Yuka app, but there are tons of other apps like that, essentially where you scan, you go to the grocery store, you go into your pantry, you scan the barcode, and then it just basically tells you what is the nutritional facts. Because some
Mhm.
people don't know how to read labels, right? Like we never learned that. You have to learn along the way. And so I tell my clients to one, start in the pantry. After you start in the pantry, start with mentally where are you starting from? Why is it that you have these insatiable hunger cues? Are you emotionally eating? Are you eating out of habit? Is it because you were taught to complete what's on your plate, right? A lot of us were like, you have to eat everything because you don't want to be ungrateful because there are people who are starving. But what that's led a lot of people to is overeating. And now you're not listening to that inner voice where you reach satiety and your body says, you know what, I'm full. Because technically your stomach will let you know it's full before your brain does. So once you start to feel that inkling like, I'm satiated, not full or stuffed, then you stop,
Mm.
drink some water, and then about 10 minutes later, your brain catches up and it's like, I'm good. I don't need any more food. But when we come from, culture that reinforces you have to consume all of your food, then you're not listening to that inner voice. And so a lot of what I do is working with people's inner voice so that they can connect with themselves, identify when they're having symptoms, what is the real cause of it, and then be able to move accordingly. So starting with your pantry, listening to your inner voice, starting to reconnect with yourself. And I will say this, one of the ways is in reconnecting yourself is reconnecting with the Holy Spirit. And you can't do that when you have all of these external stimuli that are um, competing for your time and your brain space.
This is incredibly powerful because you're really speaking on education. You're allowing us to be educated on like the things that serve us, the things that don't. But really, with so many options out there nowadays, it's like, how do I know this is good for me? And
Mm.
so to have someone to be able to hold people accountable, but also to walk them through like what a healthy lifestyle looks for like each individual person, I feel like is very helpful in a world where there's too many options. So like for you, what does
Mm.
that look like when you're working with each individual client to actually, to be able to help everyone in their own unique way?
And I think the key to that is learning the person, which is why I walk hand in hand with my clients. Because if I just give everyone the same protocol, they may not respond the same, right? Um, One of the things that I recently changed with a client is before we were doing intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting can work really well, but not for everyone. So she was getting some results, but there was a plateau happening. So we addressed a couple of things, mindset shifting, nervous system regulation, because we had to go out of fight and flight and rest and digest in order to let the body function. But a part of that was saying, you know what? Based upon what you've been telling me, I think we can stop on the intermittent fasting. Let's just do 7 to 7. And she
Mm.
said, oh my gosh, you know what? I think that's going to work so much better for me. Immediately, that is going to make a transformation because it's something that it is sustainable for someone, right? And based upon where someone is in their current life, it may not be functional. And so you
Mm.
have to have someone who actually listens and someone who actually cares and pays attention to detail to be able to say, I know you do this when you're angry. Let's address this so we don't get back there anymore? And I feel like that's a lot of that is missing in our current healthcare system because we only have 15-minute visits.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I would say, like, for the person that is listening right now, that is watching this, because I think a lot of your work is making people feel seen and heard, and also creating that transformation for them. Like, what does being seen and heard personally mean to you?
To me, it feels like you get the permission. You get back your power.
Mm,
You are sure of yourself, like you're confident about yourself. I want people, and I'll say this, even as a healthcare provider and a health and wellness coach, I don't need you to see me every 3 to 6 months. Like my client who just finished, if she doesn't sign back on, I'm actually kind of happy about that because I've equipped her with all of the tools, all of the resources that she needs to now continue. Now, if she decides she wants to go to another level, I can create a whole nother model for her and we can take it up a notch. But that to me just seems like it's a lot of empowerment. And that's what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be able to empower people. And God has allowed me to empower people through health and wellness.
mm. So good. You're teaching people how to fish. You're really giving them the education and the tools to hold them accountable throughout the process of, that you're coaching and serving them, but also now allowing them to go out and do it on their own and to live a healthy lifestyle beyond, beyond working with you. And I absolutely love that. I
Yeah.
think for everyone that is watching, like, is there any last words that you have? And can you tell us like how we can actually connect with you? Because I feel like there's so much more here and we need to be able to pick your brain further.
Gotcha. And I'm here. I'm here. So one last thing is it has to be you. I've been saying this forever now. It has to be you. No one's going to make the choice for you. You have to be the one to bet on yourself. And when you do, everything else will shift. So bet on yourself. You are worth the investment, whether that is just starting a daytime and a nighttime routine, reading that book that you've been saying you want to read forever, or going out to lunch with yourself to just sit and journal and reflect and connect with God. You're worth all of that. We're so good at putting ourselves on the back burner and then we're expecting to produce good fruit. And don't get me wrong, the fruit is not bad. It could be so. Okay, let me give this quick example. I have a garden. Last year, I planted strawberries, and my strawberries, I picked them out. And this, I could tie this into my TikTok page because it's wellness evolving health coaching. I talked about it on the video because I picked mine and I bit into it. You didn't hear me bite a thing, it just melted into my mouth. When I got the one from the refrigerator that I got from the grocery store, you hear a crunch. And what I try to explain to people is this is the importance of eating ripe fruit because your body is going to be able to use the nutrients better. You're going to produce more versus not to say that there's anything wrong or bad with that strawberry, but you're working against the gradient. So now your digestive system is going to have to work a little bit harder in order to break down that one strawberry from the grocery store. But I
Stay
say,
away from the fiscals.
I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it. But I say that to say it's the same thing with when you're walking with God. Because when you're walking in alignment, things are just it's easy. It's work without toil. But when you're trying to do it on your own, it seems so laborious. So that would be my tip. And you could definitely check me out on TikTok and Instagram. It is Wellness Evolving Health Coaching. I'm generally on TikTok because that's where my people are.
I absolutely love this. I enjoyed this conversation so much. Actually, guys, Samantha rescheduled on me yesterday, and I was definitely disappointed because after our first call, you don't understand. I was taking notes. I learned so much. So if you're on this call and were able to receive this information, make sure you go back. Make sure you actually take notes this time and go ahead and connect with her so that you can pick her brain more because I promise you, you will have that mental shift and that's exactly what we look for when we look for keynote speakers. So honestly, it was a blessing to have you on here and to share all the wisdom, everything that is, working for you through personal experience and also all the people that you're serving right now. So it's a pleasure. Thank you, Samantha. I know that
Thank
we'll
you.
be seeing more of you as well.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Definitely thank you for the experience, for the opportunity. Um, any way that I can serve, it's okay. Let me just say this real quick. It's a pleasure because this is how he uses you. And then when you realize like so many people are benefiting, it's really not about me. I'm just the tool to get the information out. So I'm always excited to be able to help.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys have seen it here first. Make sure you connect with Samantha. If you don't, you're gonna miss out on a lot of really key information. And I promise that, it really will transform your life. So go ahead and connect with her.